Good morning, everyone. Let us get started. So, do we have anyone who joined newly today? Anyone who joined newly today for the first time?
Yes, Karthik, this is Satish, data structure. I joined
Yeah.
newly in this.
Okay. Okay. In the interest of everyone, so I'll go through the course content that we have discussed yesterday, and then we can get started with a thread, initial discussion of thread. So, in this complete thread workshop, first we are going to look at threads. What are the different ways to create a thread, and how to debug a thread, and what exactly a thread means, and different states present in a thread lifecycle. What is the need for synchronization? What is synchronization? How can I do the synchronization? Object lock versus class lock. And there is a lock interface in Java. So what is the difference between synchronization and lock? So what is inter-thread communication? So difference between sleep and wait method. So why wait, notify all are present in the object class. Yield method, join method. What's the drawback of a thread? Why the thread pool is introduced? So callable interface. And in the thread pool, we have different thread pools like single, cached, fixed, scheduled. We'll look at this one and we'll see what is executor framework. Using the executor framework, how can I implement the multi-threading? And then what is future interface? Volatile keyword, deadlock, atomicity, re-entrant lock, read-write lock, countdown latch. And there is one more thing called semaphore. Java 8 executor framework changes, produce a consumer problem, and then we are going to see the interview question and answer. So this is the course content I have gone through, I have explained detailedly yesterday. So in the interest of the new guys, I'm just going through the high level data. So today after the call, you are going to get an email. In that email, yesterday video link will be provided. If you are interested, you can go through that link. And the timing of the class is morning 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Duration is 15 to 20 days. Monday to Saturday, 15,000, 1,500 rupees is the fee with recording, and recording access will be there up to 3 months. So this is a high level details. So the new guys, do you guys have any question? Any questions, anyone?
Good morning, Karthik sir. This is Ram.
Yeah.
This is a first class.
Okay.
I received the mail from Naresh IT with the records 1500, without records 1000. Is it correct, sir?
It is not a Naresh IT, it's Ashok IT only.
Sorry. Ashok IT. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's a mistake. So we see it's a 20-day class only, right? So it would be good we provide, and that too threads. You cannot get a threads just listening, right? You need to practice. We need to provide in the future.
Right.
So 1500 including recordings. So that's a mistake that they have done. Admin has provided in the email.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So the intention, keeping the recordings recordings earlier, Ashok IT used to follow the Google Drive. But the problem with the Google Drive is whenever you upload any video to the Google Drive, so it has to, the video has to be verified by the Google, right? Not only Ashok IT, anyone, whoever upload the video to the Google Drive, so the video has to be checked by the Google, whether it's like any bad content is there or not, etc. So, and then it will be available. So it takes 24 to 48 hours to check that video, because our videos are almost 2 to 3 GB, and you don't have day wise, correct, in the Google Drive. So that's the problem. So now we are using the third party tool. So the third party tool, we need to pay amount for that, and it's so teachable, that is so user friendly. So that's the reason we are charging for the recording, that to very less. Okay. So only one thing. So there is like 1001 is not there because it's a 15-day class, right? So it will not be good. Again, if you need again, you might need to join another class. Again, waste of money, right? So that's the reason we are now. I mean, like that is not there, but the person who has sent out an email, admin, right? He has done that mistakenly.
Okay, okay. Thanks, sir. Thanks for the confirmation.
Yeah. So if you look at in other institute also, during the starting of the Java, it's so good. What is Java and OOP principles? It will take 1 to 1.5 month. But when it comes to actually threads, you might miss the class, and they will not allow you to listen to the
Provide the
class again.
classes.
Again, what you need to do, you will join for the same course again by
Oh,
paying the complete fee. But whenever you pay the complete fee, you need to listen from starting. Again, that 1 month, like it's a waste of time, waste of money, right?
yeah. It's
So
correct.
in just to avoid that, we are providing the videos. And I'm taking only the threads instead of taking entire core Java, only the threads.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Any questions on the course content? Yeah. So I hope no questions. So Satish, any questions? Nagalakshmi, any questions do you have?
No, I don't have.
Yeah.
No, Kartik.
Yeah, fine. So some of you, so yesterday we just started with the threads. What is a thread? So thread is nothing but a independent path of execution. So the definition of a thread says that, let me write here. So the definition of a thread, if someone is asking you in the interview or whenever, what is a thread? You know that what is a thread, how to create a thread, but you do not know what is the definition, right? So this is a definition you can remember. Thread is nothing but independent path of execution within a same program. Thread is nothing but independent path of execution within the same program. Now, in order to see that, yesterday we just created a workspace, and then I have just created one class called this one, thread example. So I will come to how to create a thread little later, but one way to create a thread is by extending a thread class and then creating a object and then calling the start method. Okay. Now, just to understand the thread behavior, let me debug this program. Debug as Java application. Now, whenever you're debugging this, you can see in the debug section towards my left side, you can see in the debug section currently how many threads are there? Thread main. This is the one thread, correct? Now let me do F6. See, is it so till now only one flow of execution is present. Now, whenever I say start, it will go to the run method. In the run method, you need to keep a debugger. So because whenever the start method, this start method is responsible to create independent path of execution. Whenever the independent path of execution is started, the thread flow of execution starts from run method. Why the run method? I will take that question later. Okay. Now if I do run, if I do F6, see, look at here. You can see one more path of execution started, correct? See, thread 0 is running. Currently thread 0 is line number 17. This is one flow of execution. And thread example dot main, it's a one flow. Look at here. When I click on this one, it is going to line number 17. Now when I click on this one, it is going to line number 11. Now in the main program, I am clicking F6 again. See, another thread flow of execution started. Now, can I say from this one, from the same program, am I able to get the independent path of executions?
Yes.
Am I right? Yeah.
Yes.
So this is nothing but a thread. So a thread is nothing but an independent path of execution within the same program. So here you can see thread 1 is a line number 16, thread 0 is line number 17, and thread main is line number 12. So how many flow of executions are there? 3. But main method is also a thread. So you can see that. And thread 0 is another one thread. Thread 1 is another thread. So this is the definition of a thread. So this is what we have seen yesterday. And some of you guys have come up and saying that we can do one example in the IntelliJ, correct? So I've just downloaded the IntelliJ. So this is the IntelliJ. So you can download the IntelliJ from the Google. But the thing is, IntelliJ, you need to have the license. If you're using a trial version, you can use the trial version for 1 month. So I do not have the license, so I have taken the trial version. I'm just showing you guys with the trial version. See, this is a website. You just click on the download link. Then one exe file will be downloaded. Let me share this.
I think Karthik, community version we can use it.
Yeah,
without
community
any-
version is like a free version. You can use that one.
Yes. But the thing is, you will have some features, whenever you are using the community version. So generally in the Eclipse, there will be a marketplace.
Oh,
Do you guys
yeah.
aware, right? So in the
Yes.
community version, you cannot download or some plugins.
Oh, okay.
I think for Java, everything is available for community version.
No. I think Karthik sir will said is absolutely right. Some plugins we are not able to download from the community version.
Yes. So especially Git or something. So those are not, some are not available. I do not name it now, but see, if everything is same, then why everyone will go for licensed, correct?
No,
Yes,
for
Karthik.
JavaScript and all, it is required. For Java, we don't require this.
Okay, fine, not a problem. But even if you have,
But one and the same, both are the same.
Yeah.
Difference.
So here, so this is how so on load, whenever you load it, it does not look white color, it looks black. So what you can do is, in order to change your theme, you go to the file, settings, you can see appearance, right? In the appearance, what you can do, see, I have kept the theme as an IntelliJ light. By default, it will be like this, correct? So you need to change the theme, then you have to go for IntelliJ Lite. Okay. Now, and then go to the key map. And then here in the key map, you need to select the shortcut. Here we are habituated to the Eclipse. So I'm selecting the Eclipse so that Eclipse shortcuts will be available. So I'm clicking on OK. Okay. All other things are same, guys. So I just created a project, a Java project, new project. I just mentioned so here you can see language Java, Kotlin, Groovy, JavaScript. I don't want to do Maven or Gradle. I just want selected Java and then IntelliJ and then click on create. So that has created the project. Now I just created a package. In order to create a package, right click, new package. You just give the package name, com.text. See, package has been created. If you want to create a class inside this package, right click, new Java class. If you want to create an interface also, you can select a class and then you can select here. There is no interface option in the new, but here you can select it. And I have just written the same program. Look at here. So text extends thread, override the run method, main method, creating an object, calling the task. Right? Yeah. So now right click, debug as test.main. I'm debugging this program. So whenever I see this is in the, I do see the debug window towards left side in my Eclipse. In the IntelliJ, you can see the debugger in the down. So this is nothing but a F8 button. This button is nothing but a F6. You can click. Once you select it, you can see this is nothing but a F5. This is nothing but a F7. F5 is nothing but you will go into the data. I mean, like if it is, for example, constructor is there, you want to see what is happening in the constructor. If you have to go for F5. So F6. Now T dot start, it will create a thread. Now let me do F5. So currently, which thread is executing? Main thread. It is in line number 13. Now if I do F6, see, this another thread is executing, that its name is thread 0. It is in which line number? Line number 7. See, I want to see the console. See, this is the console. Now, if I see F6, the output will come as a high. You can see high is come to the console in the debugger. Right? So it's the same. But like if you want it, so learning the thread is irrespective of whatever the IDE you are using. So whichever you are comfortable, you start with that. Okay. Even you can write in the notepad and then you can study or you can learn. But the thing is, in the notepad, when you write a program, you cannot debug. So if you are good, whichever you are comfortable, you can do it. So does that answer the question of yesterday? Someone asked. Someone requested for Eclipse, right? Do you have that? Yeah, fine then. Okay. So this is about Eclipse case. So doing the everything is same. You can do in Eclipse or you can do in a IntelliJ. Both are same. I'm more habituated to the Eclipse, so I'll be teaching Eclipse, but I know IntelliJ as well. Okay. Now let us see what are the ways to create a thread. So we understand the thread definition now. What are the different ways to create a thread? Now, whenever I debug this program, you are seeing that first thread is coming, thread name is coming as thread-0. Now, second time whenever you call, you are getting thread-1. So we will see this one also why this name is coming. Now, how to create a thread? So in order to create a thread, there are 3 ways. Okay, 3 ways to create a thread. The first way is extending the thread class. So we have a class called thread in Java. So this is a thread.class. By extending a thread class, you can create an object. Okay. Now, so the second way is implementing runnable interface. Extending thread class, implementing runnable interface. Okay. And the third way is implementing callable interface. Whoever is not speaking, please go on mute. Implementing callable interface. Okay. Now let's look at the first method. The first one is extending a thread class. So whenever we are, so thread is a class in Java, and we are extending a thread class. Now, whenever you are extending, now let us look at in the thread class, do we have a constructor? Do you guys see? Can I say that this is a constructor of a thread class? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Karthik.
Now, so now let us see what is line number 477. Can someone tell me? So now what I'm doing, whenever so this is nothing but an inheritance. Parent child class extends parent class. Now I'm creating an object, correct? Now, whenever you are creating a child class object, what happens? Child class constructor will be called. From there, it will go to the parent class constructor. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
So here we do not have the child class constructor, but by default, compiler will insert the no argument constructor. Correct? Now,
Yes.
here I am not passing any constructor, sorry, any objects or anything. So can I say that first thread class? So though I did not write in the constructor here, can I say compiler will look like this?
Yes.
And here the super keyword will be there like this.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, and then from here it will go to the thread class constructor, correct? So in the thread class, there are multiple constructors. But which constructor will be invoked? The constructor which does not take the parameter, because I am not passing anything from here. Okay. Now let's believe now. Can someone tell me when I say what is the meaning of this one?
It's internally calling parameter-based constructor.
Yeah. So this is nothing but a current object. So they are calling one more constructor and passing 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means there is a constructor which takes 4 parameters in this one, and they are calling that constructor. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Now can I say this one is 1, 2, 3? Okay. Now let us look at, where is that?
Upper one.
Yeah, this one. Can I say this is a constructor they are calling, they are trying to call? Yeah. Okay. Now, now in this one itself, you can get to know why. So here first parameter is null, second parameter is null. What is the third parameter? Thread hyphen, and then next thread number. So do you see whenever we run the program, first time the thread name is coming as thread 0. Second time the thread name is coming as thread 1, right? So the 0 and 1 are coming from this method. Next thread number. Initially what they are doing, see, it's a synchronized method, just their thread count they are incrementing. First time, what is the value? By default, int will have 0. Next time, whenever you call, then 1. Next time, 2. So 1, 2, 3 will be appended to this variable, correct?
Yes.
See, thread
Yes.
hyphen, and then first time, whenever you call this constructor, 0 will come. Second time, 1. Third time, 2, like this. So if you don't pass anything, by default, the thread 0 is the first thread name, thread 1 is the second thread name. Now, so they are calling this followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're calling the thread constructor with a 5 arguments. Now, here, look at here. What is the third parameter? They are taking name. So what is the third parameter you are passing in the from the thread class? Name, right? So that means, so here this third parameter is taken as a name of a thread. If you do not pass anything, we are getting thread 0, thread 1, thread 2 like this. Now let us quickly debug. So this is the first way to create a thread object. Whenever you create a thread object, like extending a thread class, you will call the parent class constructor. Let me show you guys. So see, I'm trying to debug in the thread class. Now in the thread class constructor, I have added a debugger point or breakpoint. Now I'm doing a F6. Now see, look at here. Am I able to debug here? Now let's go to the thread next thread number. Now let's keep a debugger here. Now what it is returning? See, what is the thread init number? 0. Can I say it will return 0 now? And then it will increment it, correct?
Yes.
So first it will return 0. And then what is the variable value? Look at here. It will be 1 because, let's see, what is the meaning of this one? Post increment. It will return, first it will return the value and then increment it. So currently, what is the value that we got? See, what is the, what, see, you are
0.
calling, look at here. Thread 0, comma 5, comma main, correct? So how does that, what is the thread 0? It's a name of a thread. How did it come? So there is a hard coded value called thread hyphen, and then next thread number is 0. Now done. Now whenever I go to the second time, see, again thread hyphen, and it is calling the next thread number. See, already the value is 1. Now it will return the 1, and then it will increment. Now the what is the second thread name? It will be thread 1, correct?
Thread 1.
Yeah, that is the reason we are getting thread 0 and thread 1. Hope you guys understand why the thread names are coming as a thread 0, thread 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, understood.
Okay. Now, so whenever you create a thread object, see, now let me debug it again. So whenever you are extending a thread, you need to create a child class object. Okay. So whenever you are the first way, extending a thread class. Whenever you are extending a thread class, the way to create a thread object is creating an object for a child class. It is as same as creating an object in Java. Correct? Done. Now, whenever you create an object, will it create an independent path of execution immediately? No. Correct? See, I am creating a thread. I just call the constructor. So does it mean that, see, do you see any independent path of execution? Only main method is there. Do you see thread 0, thread 1? No. So now,
No.
now, so the start in the thread class. So now how can you get a thread behavior? In the thread class, there is a method called start. In the thread class, there is a method called start. This method is responsible to create the thread. When I say responsible to create a thread, this method will provide you the independent path of execution. So you need to call this method. Now this method is present in which class? Thread class. That means it's present in the parent class. Now using the child class object, can I call? Yes. So now this start method, what it do, it will first it creates the independent path of execution.
Execution.
Yeah, once the execution is created. Now, for example, when I start the program, when I run the Java program, yeah, program will run, but where is the starting point? Main method. Similarly, whenever you are calling the start method on a thread, yes, it will create an independent path of execution, but that path of execution should have a starting point, right? So what is the starting point? Run method. The reason for that is the start method internally will call the start zero. What is the start zero? It's a native method. For native method, the implementation will be provided in the operating system. So this start zero internally will call the run method. So look at here. So in this in this thread class, do you have a run method? Yes. Now, but why did I override? I will come to that later. So the starting point of a thread is the start method will create an independent path of execution, and then it will start the execution from a run method. Okay. Now that's the reason whenever you say t.start, it is going into the run method. Okay. See now the question is, so when already the run method is there in the thread class, why am I overriding it? Right now the question. Now, for example, let us say, why are you using this threading or multi-threading? So you multiple threads. See, there is a work. For example, salary calculation. Salary calculation. You're writing one method called salary calculation. Void salary calculation. Okay. Now this method has to be executed by multiple threads so that you can save some time. Am I right? Yeah. So what is the
Yes.
what is the starting point of every thread? Run method. Now whatever the method I have written, can I say that I have to call it within the run method so that every thread will execute it, right? Now, for example,
Yes.
if you do not override it, so assume that time being I am not overriding the run method. Okay. Now, whenever I do not override the run method, what happens? Now, whenever you say start method, it will create an independent path of execution, and then it will go to run method. So in the child class, in the thread example, do you have a run method overridden? No.
No.
Then can I say it will go to the thread class run method?
Yes.
Yes, it will come here.
Yes.
But whenever it is coming here, can you write your code here?
No.
No.
So then what is the point of using this run method, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So ideally, the way why we are using a thread, so we wanted to execute our logic using multiple threads, correct? I mean, like to save the time. Where is the right position to write that logic? You can create a method, call that method in the run method, or directly write the logic in the run method. So if you do not override it, by default, thread class run method will be called. But can you write the code over there? No. Now let us write. Let us see the program. Let me remove these debuggers. See, t.start. Does it create an independent path of execution?
Yes.
Okay, now
Yes.
t1.start. Is it created? Yes. But now look at here. Earlier, earlier it is showing my class run method, correct? I mean thread example run method. But if you click here, where is the logic? Can I say it is going to the run method of thread class?
Thread class.
Yeah.
Yes.
That means, can I say the run method will invoke from the start? Yes, it is invoking. But can you write the code here? That salary calculation logic, can you write here?
No. No.
No, we can't.
No.
Sir, we
No. So that means, can I say that? So now that means if you want to create a thread, what is the best way? Say now you are having an inheritance relationship between thread example and thread. Now in my parent class, I have a run method. Can I do the overriding? Yes. So
Yes.
whenever
Yes.
I do the override, what happens? I'm
You can write
overriding.
our code.
Yeah. So the child class method will be given the priority, correct? As per the inheritance principle, whenever you're creating a child class object and calling the method, then internally Java will check whether that method is present in the child class. Yes, it is present. Then it will be given the preference, correct? You don't now, by overriding,
Yes.
the control will not go to the run method of thread class. The control will go to the run method of the user defined class. Now, can I say can you write your logic here?
Yes.
So that is the
Yes.
reason. That is the reason you need to override the run method. Why do you need to override the run method? If you don't override it, by default, thread class run method will be called. But whenever you create a thread, even if you are calling the thread class run method, is it creating an independent path of execution? Yes, it is creating. Just now we have seen. But the thing is, can I write my logic over there? No. So that is the reason we are overriding the run method and we are specifying our logic. Now, there is one more thing. So calling the start method is same as a calling the run method. What is the difference between a start method run? See, what I'm doing for t1.run I'm doing and t2.start I'm doing. Now, t1.run method is same as calling a, see, for example, let us have, yeah, salary calculation, I have a method. So what is a class? It's an instance method. How can I call? I have to create an object for this thread example class and then call. So already thread example, I have two objects. T1 dot salary calculation. See, what does it mean? I'm calling the normal. If you call the run method, it will be treated as a normal execution. That means it will not create an independent path of execution. Now let us see. Now, see if I call the run method, look at here. See, it is going. See, is it creating a new path? No, in the main method only, from line number 15, you have went to the line number 22. Okay. Now, so let me do F6 again. See, it has completed that. Now it is coming back to the main method. So salary calculation is nothing but calling the same method. But when I do start, it has created an independent path of execution, correct? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So the difference between calling the run method and then start method is, on a thread object, if you call the run method directly, it will behave like a normal method execution. But whenever you call the start method, then only the independent path of execution will be created and then it will behave like a thread. So this is the difference between, so this is the answer for why we need to override the run method and what is the difference between what if I call the run method directly and what if I call the start method. Any questions so far?
No, Karthik.
Any other questions, anyone?
No, Karthik.
Yeah, thank you guys. Now let us see. So by calling, so now whenever I don't pass anything, my thread name is set as thread 0. Now, for example, I wanted to pass the thread name. Okay. Now, let's see what is the constructors we have. See, do you see one thread constructor which takes a string?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah, yes.
Now, similarly, do you see one more constructor which takes a runnable?
Runnable, yeah.
Yes.
Both are single argument constructor, but there is a difference in the arguments, correct? Now, see, by calling this one, what they are taking name, and they are
Name.
calling internally this followed by name. That means whatever the name that you pass, if you want to keep a name for your thread, can I say you need to call this constructor instead of calling the default constructor?
Yes.
Yeah, let us look at here. Now, if I want to call, now let me create here first thread. First thread. Now, let me create. Can someone tell me why am I getting a compilation error?
Don't have a constructor
We
with
don't have the
We are
constructor
not
with
create a constructor and parameterized
So we need to create a parameterized constructor.
constructor.
Yeah. String str. Now, can I say super also I need to pass str?
Yes,
Correct?
yes.
If I don't pass, then from here,
It is default
Calling
constructor.
the non-parameterized constructor.
if I just do like this, always the constructor will have the super call without arguments, correct? Whatever the constructor that you have in the class, it will call the parent class constructor. That is correct. But in the parent class constructor, we can have we can have multiple constructor. But which class will be called from the child class? Always No argument
Um,
constructor. If you want to call the specific one, you need to provide the arguments. So when I say super followed by str, I will let us see where it will go. Okay, now let us debug. Debug as Java application. So now let us keep here. It will come here. See, what is the str? First thread. Now from here, super means it will go to the thread class single argument constructor. See, let us keep a debugger here. See, is it coming here? Yes. What is the name that you passed?
First thread.
Yeah, first thread, correct? So that means, can I say I am keeping now if I do F6? Now let's come back, second thread. Let's do the start method, say run method. Okay, leave about the run. We'll modify that later. Now, can I say that my thread name is second thread now? So this is how you can assign a thread name. So how to assign a thread name? By calling the constructor. Okay. By calling the constructor, a single argument constructor of a thread class, by passing the name as a string parameter, you can set a name to a thread. Or there is another way. There is a method in the thread class. In the thread class, there is a method called set name. Set name. Do you see set name, one method? By call, and what is this method? It's an instance method. By calling this method, you can set a name to a constructor, a thread. So now I have set using first thread. Later I want to modify. See t1 dot set name. Let me put ABC. Now t2 dot set name DEF. So there are two different ways, guys. By sending the data to the constructor, you can do that by this one. Now, when can you go for? So, for example, if there is a if you cannot create a constructor, then you can go for this one. Debug as Java application. I am just removing the debugger point over there. So whatever you mentioned here, that will be overridden by the set name method. Look at here. Can I say earlier, what is the name using? I kept using the T2 second thread. And now I have I have modified the name to DEF. So, I mean, like there are two ways to set the name of a thread, using a constructor of a thread class or using a set name method. Now the thing is, now the set name method you need to call before the start method only. If you call set name method after the start, then that will not have an impact. So always you need to call the set name method before the starting of a thread. If you call after the starting of a thread, that will not have an impact. Now let us see. Debug as Java application. Say I have created two threads. Say t dot start. Say what is the name? First thread. No, t1 t2 dot start. Second name. Now after calling the start method, I am calling the set name method. So does it is it changed anything? No. So always you need to remember that before calling the start method, you need to call the set name method. Okay. The reason for that is when the start is calling, it is already creating a thread. How can you change the name, right? So the one thing you need to remember is, in order to set a name of a thread, you can use a thread class single argument constructor, which is taking a string as an argument, or you can use a set name method. And the set name method can be called before the start method. Does it understood, guys? Any questions? Any questions, anyone so far?
Yeah, understood.
No, Karthik.
No,
Yeah.
Karthik.
Now let us go for next way of implementation of a thread. Now this is a thread implementation using a extending a thread class. Now I also have written thread implementation using implementing a runnable interface. Now let us see the program how to create a thread using a runnable interface. Now let us create class thread example using runnable. And this code will be shared with you guys. That is the reason I am writing a class name, the meaningful name, so that next time if you get some doubt immediately, like how to create a thread object using runnable, then immediately you can go to this class and look at here. Now in Java, there is a interface called runnable. Now let me write implements runnable. If you look at the thread class, thread class internally implementing a runnable interface. Now, first of all, why does the thread class has a run method? Let's see the answer for that. Do you guys see thread class is implementing runnable interface? Yes. What is a runnable interface? See, it's an interface. That too, it's a functional interface. That means it can have only one abstract method. Yeah, it has a run. So when thread class is implementing this runnable interface, it has to override this run method, correct? So that is the
Yes.
reason in thread class we have a run method. Hope you understand.
Yes.
Now, what I'm doing in my class, I'm not extending a thread class. I'm directly implementing a runnable interface. Then which method I need to override?
Run method.
Run method.
So click on add unimplemented methods. Yeah, done. Now I'm writing sys out. Hi, done. Now let me create. Now the thing is, first of all, how can I get a thread kind of a behavior? Which method I need to call?
Start method.
How can I call the start method?
By
Using
creating the
object, correct? Because,
Yes.
because the start method is an instance method, correct? Look at here. Is it a static method?
No.
If it is a static, I should have used directly the class name. But it's an instance method. Then I need to create an object and then call the start method. Now the question is, if you are extending a thread class, creating a thread object is so easy, correct? It is just creating an object of a class, like class name. This is as simple as class name reference variable equal to new class name, correct? This is a normal way of creating an object in Java, right?
Yes.
Whenever you are extending a thread class, creating a child class object is nothing but a thread object. But now the question is, whenever I'm implementing an enable interface, how can I create a thread object? Now let's go and see. In the thread class,
We need to create the thread.
yeah. So do you guys see one constructor? We have a constructor
Runnable.
which is taking runnable. So here in the thread class, I have a constructor called one constructor which is taking runnable object. What does it mean, runnable?
It will runnable interface and we can pass the implementation class object. We need to create that whatever the customized class we just know that class implemented by runnable interface object we can pass here.
Yeah. So anything. So whenever you have a method, for example, I have a method like display, which is taking list interface. Can I create an interface object directly? Can I create an object to interface?
No.
No, sir, we cannot.
No. No. How can I call this method name? Now, in order to call this method, what I need to create? I need to create a I need to create a class which is implementing that interface.
List.
Or if you have any other class, predefined class, you call that object, correct? Now, similarly, if I want to create this one, first of all, I need to call the thread class constructor. How can I call the thread class constructor? Can I say like this? Thread t equal to new thread. Yeah. So this will call the thread class constructor. Yes, that is correct. But what constructor I want to call? This one. In order to call this one, runnable is an interface. Can I create an object to a runnable interface? No.
No.
Then what I can do? already in this
We
class,
can create the
We
yeah,
can
in this
pass the
class,
thread.
yeah. So in this class, I have implemented the runnable interface. Create a object to this class and then pass it here, right? So first you create an object to this one, tr equal to new. Now just pass the tr here. This is one way. If I want to club these two lines together, then I can write like this.
we can directly with the new operator we can
Yes, that is called anonymous object. So here first what I'm doing, I'm creating an object and passing here, but I don't want to use a reference variable. I want to use directly. Then what I can do? New runnable. Correct. So this is a way to create a thread object. So if you are implementing a runnable interface, in order to create in order to get a thread kind of a behavior, you need to call the start method. How do you call the start method? Using a thread object. How can you create a thread object? Whenever you are implementing a runnable interface, you need to call this constructor to create a thread object. So this is a class which is taking runnable as a object, runnable reference as a object. Okay. Now, in order to do that, first I have implemented a runnable interface. So I'm creating an object of this class and then passing it here, or I can pass like this also. Okay. So now after that, what I will do? T1 dot start. So this is also a thread. I can also say T dot start. And let us see whether it is executing. So whenever you want to see the behavior, keep the debugger point in the run method, guys. Now debug as Java application. So see, look at here. T1 dot start. See, it has created independent path of execution. T dot start. It has also created an independent path of execution. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
yes,
Yeah. So this is another way to create a thread object by implementing a runnable interface. Any questions? Anyone? So the thing you need to concentrate here is calling the thread class constructor, which is taking a runnable interface reference. How to pass this runnable reference? You need to create a class which implements that runnable interface and then create an object of this class and pass it here. So in that way, we can treat this as a what you call object. So this is how we can create an object. So there are two ways to create an object in Java using, so there are three ways. We'll come to this third way in the executor one. So there is a interface called callable. So we'll come to this third way of creating a thread object using callable interface in the executor framework. So whenever we go for executor framework, there are some drawbacks in the runnable interface. The reason, what is the drawback is, whenever you are overriding the run method, here, let us say I have overridden the run method. Can I change the return type?
No, sir.
So if
no
in general, in a overriding, I can change a return type. But here it is mentioned as a void. So whenever I want to change a return type, the return type of a overridden method should be the subclass of the parent class return type. But here it is void. Can I change to object or integer something? No.
No.
That means whenever I am doing the multi-threading, the thread will execute a run method, but run method, I will perform some work. After performing the work, can I return that work?
No.
But if that is my logic, if that is my criteria, then how can I do? So that's where the callable interface comes into picture. In the callable interface, similar to the runnable, we have an interface called callable. In the callable, there is one abstract method called call. Do you see what is the return type of this callable interface? V. That means whatever you mention the generics, that will be returned as a response, correct? I can return integer, I can return string, I can return employee, I can return department, any user-defined object, any class, whatever you want to return, that you can, the call method is returning that. So the drawback of a like runnable interface is You cannot return anything when the thread is working. But in order to overcome that, we go for a callable interface that we will see in the executor framework. So the creation of a thread using a callable interface we'll be looking at in the while implementing the executor framework. So any questions, anyone so far? How to create a thread object? What are the different ways to create a thread object and what is a thread?
So, Karthik, when we are calling using runnable, we are passing the runnable object in the right thread
Yes.
constructor.
Yeah.
So, can we, I mean, once we pass one runnable object, we should be sticking to it or we can change afterwards?
Yeah, you can create any number. I mean, you
So
wanted say
with,
you wanted to
with
pass the
one
TR for
thread,
multiple.
let's say we have one
Yeah.
thread, the T1. With T1, let's say when calling, when in the constructor,
Is
I
this
pass
the
one
one?
runnable.
This one? Yeah, you can
line,
do.
Next line.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, let's say I passed one thread, one runnable object to this constructor, T1.
Yes.
So later, is there any way to change that runnable object passing to the thread again, like using any methods?
Once you call the constructor, it's done, right?
So we don't have any methods to change that?
No. It's an object you are passing and calling the constructor, right? There's no way.
Okay.
And
so
that is not needed as well. Yeah.
Okay. So always that means we are assigning one runnable object to this thread always. So once it is assigned, we cannot change that one, right?
Yeah. Okay. There is no need as well. Okay. Any other questions, anyone?
Hello, Karthik. Good morning, Karthik.
Yeah.
I lately joining. So why should you go for the multi-threading structure? So what is the purpose?
So for example, if you are writing a single thread process, if the number of records are in millions, it takes time, right? By using multi-threading, you can reduce it to, like, if it is a single thread process, I mean, it is taking 10 hours. Using multi-threading, you can reduce the time, performance issue, and accuracy. So in order to achieve these two, you can go for multi-threading. For example, if you are working, simple example, like you will get, so in an organization, there will be 2 lakh to 3 lakh people, like if you take Wipro, Infosys and all. So in order to do the salary for calculation for every employee, they cannot do individually, right? So they need to write the logic in such a way that the calculation will be completed within 2 to 3 hours during the month end, and that file has to be shared with the bank, right? In order to achieve that, you need to do multi-threading so that you can save the time as well as accurate output.
So single thread is not possible. Multi-threading we can
Simple thread you can do, but it takes, see, it is simple thread if you do for 1 million records, if it is taking 10 hours. If you do the same process with 3 threads, it will complete in 3 hours itself, right? That is the advantage. If you are good to do in 10 hours, then no issues. In future, now today 1 million people are there. Tomorrow, if that 1 million records are getting increased to 10 million, instead of 10 hours, it will take 100 hours, correct?
Yes, sir.
How can you reduce it? By using multi-threading.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, Varma, you will get the recording today. Yesterday, so for all of those who got, like yesterday, some of you guys have received an email, right? From Ashok IT.
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
the instructions are present in that email, guys. So today is the last demo class. So if you are interested to enroll for this course, you can enroll by today. And from tomorrow onwards, the action, like demo, there will not be demo classes. Whoever is enrolled, they will be given with a new Zoom link by the end of today. And we are going to create a WhatsApp group with enrolled candidates. So from tomorrow onwards, demo classes will not be there. Yeah. So for who all joined lately, so don't worry, whatever the email ID that you have given, you are going to receive an email from the Ashok IT. In that email, you have the yesterday class link and today class link. Yesterday, we just discussed about the course content. And today we started discussing about threads, the concepts. So all these two videos will be shared. And if you are interested for enrollment, they will also share you the where to do the payment. Let me show you sample. Just give me a minute, guys. So these are the things I'm sharing in the, see, this is a multi-threading. So I'm sharing the details in the Zoom chat also. For the interest of everyone, I'm sharing it here. So in this one, you have the yesterday's class link, as well as way to do the payment, how to do the payment, and after doing the payment, what you need to do. So this is a bank account. You can do the payment, and after doing the payment, you can send an email to this Gmail by providing your name, contact number, timing is morning 6 a.m., payment screenshot. That will be treated, you are completed the enrollment. Once you have completed the enrollment, you will receive a confirmation email, and at the same time, you will receive a call from the Ashok IT. They will tell you how to access the website, how to access the recordings, etc.
Karthik, the payment details which are there, correct? Those are not working. Can you please check?
These are not working, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. What is the error you're getting?
Payment is not processed, or sometimes it is like unsuccessful.
You're doing NEFT or how are you doing? IMPS?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So I'll ask them to look at it. Yeah, thanks. I'll ask them to look at it.
I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Actually, we do write business logic in run method, but why the start method has the synchronized? It is too early to ask, but
yeah, start method is synchronized. The reason for that is, see, why, what, see, okay, that question will be answered when I talk about a synchronization. See, why it is synchronized? Because on a same object, if you are calling the start method twice, see, for example, you call on T1, I call the start method now. On the T1, can someone else do the start method again? Yes or no? Is it possible? Yes. Now, can you call a start method twice on a thread?
No.
If you call, then second time you will get an illegal thread state exception, correct? So for example, if you're not keeping the method as a synchronized, these two can happen at a time. Whenever you are keeping a synchronized, what happens is only one on a same object, one thread can execute start method once. Till it completes, it will have a lock. Other thread cannot given the access. So you will get to know much more details when we discuss about a synchronization. To provide the lock kind of a behavior, and there might happen that using two different threads, you can call the start method on a same object at the same time, but internally it should not execute, right? If one thread start method is invoking, it has to lock on that object till it gets completed. Another thread should not call it, right? So in order to make sure of that, this method is synchronized. It's a synchronization will provide you the thread safety. Okay,
thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah. So if no question, that's all for today, guys. So if you are interested, please do the enrollment. I'll inform the Ashok IT that the payment details are working. They will verify it and they'll come back to you guys. So look at the email, and you will also get a call from the Ashok IT. If you are interested, you can enroll it. And from tomorrow, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, hi, sir. I have a simple doubt.
in Eclipse, like you're getting the, pop-up, right, to search the methods.
Yeah.
Can you
Control
tell
O.
the,
Control O.
oh, okay.
If you want to search the variables and methods in the Eclipse for a class, you need to do Control O.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, just to add to that question, just check for the Eclipse cheat sheet. You will get all the commands.
Yeah.
And Karthik, one more thing. Can you just ask Ashok IT people saying like, what type of account is this? So it will be easier because sometimes we don't know like what type of account is we have to use in the IMPS or the while transferring the amount.
Account type in the sense, is it savings or current like that?
Yes, correct. That will be easier for us because
Yeah,
it's
sure.
very hard to understand whether
So
it
what
is
I
a
will do,
current.
I'll ask them to provide the Google Pay number. That would be easy, right? Generally, they do provide, but I don't know this time they did not provide. Yeah, I'll ask them to provide the account type and then the Google Pay number. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because the problem is like the people from the other countries, correct? They cannot transfer using the Google Pay or something.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so
Google
Yeah,
Pay
sure.
is very useful for all.
Yeah, sure. I'll inform these things to them. They will provide you. Okay. Sure. So if so I request like don't worry about that one. The payment these issues will be resolved. You will get an email. In that email, all the details will be like updated. Okay, and you can call up the Ashok IT people, or when you get a call from the Ashok IT, please respond to that call, and you can share your concerns. I'll share it from my side. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining. Have a nice day.
Karthik, this Zoom link can be shared to this group ID today.
Yeah.
For
So once the
tomorrow's.
enrollments are completed, we'll create a WhatsApp group. In the WhatsApp group, like individually also you will get a new Zoom link, and in the WhatsApp group also I'll put it before
I
the
think
class.
already WhatsApp group is created. If we put the some Zoom link, that will be
okay. The new Zoom link, even I did not get it. Once I used to put it for the easy access.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Fine, guys. Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining. Have a nice day.
Thanks.